Obviously, with the accident and everything, your basketball career ended earlier than you wanted it to. Did you have a plan for what was next post basketball, or had you even not even thought about it yet?
Man, you gonna make me take a sip of my drink on this one. Um, nah, man, I was so fucked up, Dre.
Yeah.
It was I don't know what I was thinking, man. For me, you can only imagine like becoming that guy that I never
Mm-hmm.
thought I could become.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally felt like after my rookie year, it kind of felt similar to my freshman year in college. I was like, how do I figure this out? Like, you know how it is, man, too. Like, there was no togetherness I had in the league.
Yeah.
I was by
Completely different.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was by myself. And Duke had been so, like, I had teammates that I rocked with, that I
Mm-hmm.
kicked it with. And so towards the end of the season, I was kind of like, I got to do my own thing. And I started to play a lot better and started to believe in myself. And because I felt like I could score against anybody. It didn't matter if it was AI, Kobe, Jason Kidd. Like I had triple double against Jason Kidd. I was like, I feel like I can do my thing here.
Mm-hmm.
And then for that to happen, because ultimately it was a decision that I made, I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about anything. Like I spent a lot of time just really being lost because I
Mm-hmm.
felt like because of my poor decision, not only did I hurt my dreams, but also like my parents, man, like my mom and dad had sacrificed a lot for me to get to where I was at. And, for them, my mom was like, meeting people like Arnie Duncan, who became Secretary of State with
Yeah.
Barack Obama. Like
Yeah.
my dad was involved in different businesses and we are going to do all these different things together. I'm making life-changing money, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I lived in the same building as Oprah. Like she was a floor down from me. I'm like, hey, Miss Oprah, like literally leaving the crib, going to a game. Like, wow,
Yeah.
I'm in the same building as Oprah. Like, and it's a dope building.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then for all that to kind of go away, and I rented a house literally next door to Coach. It was just one of the toughest things I've ever had to go through in my life because I had to live with my own misery of what I had done.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a plan, man.
Yeah.
I was kind of just floating aimlessly.
Yeah. So after that, a few years down the road, you get the ESPN. What's that journey been like going through ESPN, starting a new career on television? What has that been like kind of going through the ranks, ESPN all the way up to, now you got your own show?
It was really hard at first because I was doing some dumb ass games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was making $35,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the hardest parts was, I was only a couple of years removed from playing college ball. So, people will still recognize me, but people would also be like, I still kind of had like a limp.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just such a dichotomy, Dre. Like I went from, okay, like, yo, we want to go to Vegas tonight. Let's get the plane, to a couple of years later, going to Oxford, Mississippi to call a game and walking through first class, limping like to the back of the plane, with to the B seat in between two people with my crutches, like,
Yeah.
trying to hype up kids that I knew I was still better than.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, yo, why would I hype this dude up? Like he ain't that nice.
Yeah.
But I think it was hard for me because I still wanted to play for the longest time. I tried to come back and play. That didn't really work. But I think I really started to take it seriously when I started to get called out. And Doug Gottlieb, one of the most talented guys there was in college basketball, still is, literally, I felt like embarrassed me a couple of times because I didn't know what I was talking about. It's like one thing, like, Jay, if we're talking about the NBA and I'm asking you about the Sacramento Kings, like if I'm on air with you, like if you don't know what you're talking about, I'm not going to expose you
Right
on national TV. Like I'm going to be the fam to you, like after the show's over, like, yo, Dre, look, man, like this team is led by De'Aaron Fox. Like Buddy Hield Like it might not work out with him long term. Like he might be traded. Like I'm going to talk you through what's happening. Like, yo, you need to put in a lot more work. Like, don't put yourself in these type of positions. Whereas I felt like for me, Doug Gottlieb tried to call me out, but I didn't spend all my time studying the nuances of every team in the ACC and the Big Ten and the Big East and the Pac-12 and the Big 12. Like I didn't know all that shit. But I felt like he tried to embarrass me. And I think that's for me, like when it really clicked, like 25, 26, I'm going to take this shit seriously. Because then you ain't going, it was almost like I felt like I was as a player again.
Yeah. You became a competitor again.
Yeah. Like, oh no, like, okay, oh, you're the guy? Oh, like, okay, like this guy's the guy up here? Okay, cool. Like I started getting targets and I think I started building things out and then studying it. And then I think once I learned the nuances of how to do TV and I felt comfortable with the knowledge, then I started to learn how to be myself, which is a whole other process, right? Yeah. Feeling comfortable to speak how you would speak or want to do things the way you would like to do them.
Yeah. So then you get to College Game Day.
Yep.
And you have your signature Superman kind of jump. Where did that come from?
Man, that the best form of flattery is imitation, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that came from the real College Game Day show. You know, it came from my man Lee Corso putting on the hats. And you know, I would watch it because I also love business trade. So I'm like, man, damn, like Home Depot is a major sponsor. Like how much is Home Depot paying ESPN per year? What kind of brand activations is Lee Corso doing? Because he came up with this shtick, right? He's known for this shtick at the end of the show. And I paid attention to College Game Day basketball, and it was a good show, but there was nothing that nobody kind of played to the crowd. Nobody kind of created like these energetic like moments. So I'm like, man, Lee Corso's doing that. Like, I got it. I'm just gonna rip off my shirt and reveal the team and not care where I'm at. Like, I was at Duke and I picked Carolina, right? Like,
yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
As you roll your eyes to me.
Yeah.
But then I was like, yo, I'm just gonna mess with people. I'm gonna have fun. Like, that's when I recognized like, oh, like the E in ESPN does stand for entertainment too, right? Now that didn't sit well with some people, Duke and Coach K sometimes, but also like I also recognized when I was at that point, Dre, for a long part of my career, I'd be like, yo, Duke's gonna win the game tonight because of this. And people would kill me online. You're a Duke homer, you always pick Duke, right? So in my own mind, like it got to me a little bit. I'm like, maybe I need to kind of pick against Duke sometimes. So now I would pick against Duke and be like, oh, this is 3 weeks in a row he picked against Duke. Even though if Duke had been like 1-3, I'm like, oh, like you're trying too hard to show like you're not one of us anymore. I'm like, yo, I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. Like I might as well not care and just tell you actually what I really think.
Yeah.
Like not holding any allegiance. So I think after a while, like 5 or 6 years, I got comfortable to the point where I was like, all right, like, yeah, the entertainment side, I started working with brands to build it out. And I started just telling people how I really felt, regardless of how they felt.